Good evening, I am Tashwan Tyson, in with your VON Media News package for today, Monday 16 September 2019. In our lead stories, nationally, General Manager of VON Radio named among 12 nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis presented with the Medal of Honor, and landslide occurs in Lodge, St. Kitts, no casualties reported. Regionally, Guyana Coalition given assurances regarding fresh elections. Internationally, Saudi oil attacks, U.S. says intelligence shows Iran involved. And in sports, Michael Jordan sells minority stake in Hornet Sports and Entertainment. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back to another national news in detail. Manager of VON Radio 860 AM, Mr. Everett Weber Herbert, continues to receive recognition for his sterling contribution to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. He was among 12 nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis awarded the Medal of Honor, MOH, at the National Heroes Ceremony held on September 16, 2019, at the National Heroes Park in St. Kitts. The Medal of Honor award was first awarded in 1998, following the passage of the National Assembly of the National Heroes Act, and is one of 3 classes of awards established to recognize the excellent work that is being done by citizens of the Federation. The other 2 awards established were the Order of a National Hero and the Star of Merit. Mr. Herbert has been the General Manager of the Voice of Nevis, VON Radio, for the past 31 years. Reports reaching the VON Newsline have indicated that because of heavy rainfall throughout Saturday night into the mid-morning hours of Sunday, a landslide occurred in the Lodge area in St. Kitts. A landslide is a mass of rock and earth moving suddenly and quickly down a steep slope. The VON Newsline understands that due to the heavy downpours, the soil was wet, which became unstable and resulted in a tree falling from the hillside onto the stretch of the main road leading from Lodge Project to Lodge Village. Based on photos, this caused traffic to be disrupted. Nonetheless, the debris was removed promptly. Additionally, no one was injured. Should the government be credited for the relinquishing of guns by the various gang members in St. Kitts and Nevis? That was one of the questions posed on VON Radio's Let's Talk program, which was aired on Tuesday, September 10th. At a press conference held at the Police Training School in St. Kitts on August 13th, Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Harold Brandy, announced that gang members had voluntarily surrendered 30 illegal firearms to the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. Since the announcement, accusations made by the opposition St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party are that the Team Unity government is paying or facilitating the payment of hundreds of thousands of dollars to criminals in exchange for the success of the peace initiative. In an interview with the VON Newsline in August, National Security Advisor, retired Major General Stuart Saunders, commented on speculations of any payments in the peace initiative.
We have been involved with engaging the at-risk groups or gangs since February or March of this year. And I wish to state categorically that there have been no payments for guns of any sort whatsoever, or ammunition for that matter, by the engagement team or the process that is currently being undertaken, and that will never be a consideration under the present set of circumstances. So I hope this allays your fears and the fears of the public in general. This is something that I have stated categorically before, and I state again.
During the last edition of the Let's Talk program, a caller expressed his concern over the lack of information or secrecy of the initiative by the government.
We are still trying to define exactly what it is. To me, there is too much secrecy surrounding this, and we don't know what the oversight is like. Everyone is in favor of giving youth a second chance and reintegrating them into society. I mean, that's easy to get behind. My question for the panelists would be, would they still be behind it if it was indeed a case of the gangs being paid to keep the peace?
Heavyweight panelist Dr. Patricia Bartlett commented on whether or not the government was for the initiative should be credited.
We had all settled a couple of years ago before the truce on at least one position. The position was that crime was not a political issue. It was a social issue. So the fact that we're now putting social programs in place to make sure that we keep the peace is a no-brainer. And if we continue bouncing it around, then you'll always hear from the opposition things that are going to try to destroy the peace that exists. Let us keep it out of the political domain. Do not give any politician any credit because they didn't want to take the blame.
Heavyweight panelist Dr. Patricia Bartlett. In police news, an autopsy was performed on the body of 23-year-old Marcus Rubin of Sadlers, St. Kitts, by resident pathologist Dr. Adrian Nunes last Friday, September 13th. According to reports, Rubin was accompanied by two friends who went out at sea, diving close to the Lynch Bay area, where he drowned during the morning hours of Saturday, September 7th. Subsequently, the district medical doctor pronounced him dead on the scene after his body was found on the shore. The resident pathologist concluded that Rubin's death, according to a police communique, was as a result of asphyxia due to drowning. Meantime, an autopsy was performed on the body of 72-year-old Gregory Dean Vematson of California, USA, by resident pathologist Dr. Adrian Nunes on September 13th. Dr. Nunes concluded that his death was as a result of asphyxia due to drowning. Circumstances surrounding the incident are that Vematsu went snorkeling with his wife at Banana Beach at the southeast peninsula in St. Kitts when he experienced difficulty at sea and drowned. Police received the report at about 11 a.m. on Thursday, September 12th. The district medical doctor arrived at the scene and pronounced him dead. A sitting of the National Assembly will be held on Tuesday, September 17th at 10 a.m. at the National Assembly Chambers in St. Bastier, St. Kitts. 3 bills will be presented during the proceedings. At that sitting, Prime Minister Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris will have read a second time Motion of No Confidence Bill 2019, which had its first reading May 9, 2019, and Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis, Tenure of the Office of the Prime Minister Amendment Bill 2019, which had its first reading February 21, 2018. Attorney General the Honorable Vincent Barron Jr. will have read a second time Courts of Justice Fees Bill 2019, which had its first reading September 3, 2019. The last sitting was held on Tuesday, September 3, 2019. St. Kitts and Nevis has established diplomatic relations with the Republic of North Macedonia. St. Kitts and Nevis's High Commission in London, High Commissioner His Excellency Dr. Kevin M. Isaac, and Her Excellency Ms. Alexandra Miovska, Ambassador of the Republic of North Macedonia to the United Kingdom, signed a joint communique officially establishing diplomatic relations. The joint communique, which formalizes relations between the two countries, is another important step in the government's efforts to increase its diplomatic engagement with the governments and people across Europe and the Mediterranean region. The Republic of North Macedonia is a country of the South Central Balkans. It is bordered to the north by Kosovo and Serbia, to the east by Bulgaria, to the south by Greece, and to the west by Albania. St. Kitts and Nevis' Independence State Service was held here on Nevis at the Charleston Methodist Church on Sunday, September 15th, as part of the Federation's 36th anniversary of independence. The state service for the anniversary celebrations of independence in St. Kitts and Nevis was held on Nevis for the first time in 2015 and then again in 2017. The service was organized by national church bodies of St. Kitts and Nevis and other Christian organizations in collaboration with the Ministry of Ecclesiastical Affairs. This year's celebration of independence is celebrated under the theme Unify, Transform, Enrich, Uplifting Communities for Independence 36. The service was also carried live here on VON Radio 860 AM and at vonradio.com. Meantime, today, September 16th, is National Heroes Day here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Since 1998, the Federation has observed September 16th as National Heroes Day. It was first made a holiday to honor Sir Robert L. Bradshaw, the only official national hero at the time. His birthday is also the reason for the holiday's date. At present, SKN has 5 national heroes, namely Sir Robert L. Bradshaw, C.A. Paul Southwell, Joseph Nathaniel France, Sir Simeon Daniel, and Dr. the Right Excellent and Right Honorable Sir Kennedy Simmons. In police news, Levar Brown of Fines Avenue, St. Kitts, has received several charges following a joint operation between the drug unit and the Customs and Excise Department. According to a police communique, the operation resulted in the discovery of 1,813 grams of cannabis in food containers. The drugs have an estimated street value of EC $48,000. He was charged by the police for the offenses of possession of cannabis with intent to supply and importation of cannabis on Thursday, September 5th. Additionally, he was charged by the Customs and Excise Department for the offenses of knowingly submitting a false declaration to a customs officer, importation of cannabis concealed in containers holding goods of a different description, and knowingly attempting to fraudulently evade customs with respect to the importation of a restricted good. Subsequently, he was bailed with conditions in a sum of $60,000. The conditions are that 1. He is to report to the Bastille Police Station every Wednesday between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and 2. To surrender all travel documents. He is set to appear at the Bastille Magistrate Court on November 4th, 2019. Last week, Cabinet ministers traveled to various schools across the Twin Island Federation in celebration of 36 years of independence. Speaking at one of the schools, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Honorable Sean Richards, stated that he and his colleagues have deemed it important to spend time with the students, especially as the nation celebrates 36 years of independence. He was accompanied by the Prime Minister, Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris, the Honorable Ian Patches-Liberd, and others. Deputy Prime Minister Richards took the opportunity to interact with the students to test their knowledge on the theme. The Ministry of Education stated that the theme is relevant to all across the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, especially with respect to communities. St. Kitts and Nevis Independence Day celebration is being held under the theme Unify, Transform, Enrich, Uplifting Communities for Independence 36. And finally, the government and people of India have extended warm greetings to the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis on the occasion of the Federation's 36th anniversary of independence. In a letter from Prime Minister of India, His Excellency Mr. Narendra Modi, to Prime Minister Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris, PM Modi said, India and St. Kitts and Nevis share a cordial and long-standing relationship. I am confident that the friendship and cooperation between our countries will be further strengthened in the years to come. Mr. Modi added, I await this opportunity to convey to you my sincere wishes for your health and well-being, as well as for peace and prosperity of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Please accept, Excellency, the assurances of my highest consideration. The Embassy of India in Georgetown, Guyana, is concurrently accredited to the Federation. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Life can be more fulfilling when we take the time out to smell the roses. And that's why your friends and family at the Bank of Nevis are experts at picking the flowers that best describe you. Whether you're planning to treat yourself after a long work week or finally getting around to that closet update, you deserve all the special things that life has to offer. And the Bond Visa card is here to help you achieve it. With just a swipe, you can turn a last-minute lunch date with friends and family into something worth remembering with memories that will last a lifetime. Pampering yourself just got a whole lot easier. And after all, you deserve every refreshing moment of it. The ability to make your travel arrangements at your own convenience, whether by sea or by air, now rests within the palm of your hand. With a single swipe, the Bond Visa card can put a world of difference between life and truly living, whereas the only limit you may have is your own imagination. Apply today. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail out of Guyana. A senior member of the coalition government said on Friday it was likely that fresh regional and general elections, as mandated by the Trinidad-based Caribbean Court of Justice (CCJ), could be held later this year. NationNews.com says. Public Health Minister Valda Lawrence led a delegation from the coalition government that comprises the Partnership for National Unity (APNU) and the Alliance for Change (AFC) to talk with representatives of the Guyana Elections Commission (GECOM). The chairperson said she had indicated that they are working towards the end of this year to try to see whether the time frame, all the things that they have to do, statutory and administration, will allow them to conclude on this matter of elections by the end of the year, she added. Lawrence said that during the hour-long meeting, the delegation was given the assurance that no statutory deadline would be shortened and that data gathered from the July-August House-to-House registration process, which the High Court deemed not to be illegal, would be used. Bahamas' Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has announced plans for a national prayer service to honor the lives lost when Hurricane Dorian slammed into the northwest of the archipelago 2 weeks ago, Caribbean 360 says. The government has invited the Bahamas Christian Council to plan the National Prayer Service, which will take place on Wednesday, September 18th, marking the culmination of the National Day of Prayer and Fasting. Flags are also to be flown at half-mast on all public buildings to mourn the dead. The date of the National Day of Mourning will be announced at an appropriate time. The Prime Minister acknowledged that there are many deaths and many still missing. The number of deaths is expected to significantly increase, but the confirmed number is currently 50. Many are grieving the loss of loved ones. Many are in despair, wondering if their loved ones are still alive, said the minister. The Prime Minister assured that accurate and timely information will be provided on the loss of life as it is available. Out of St. Thomas, West Virgin Islands. The Cyril E. King Airport was temporarily closed at 5:36 a.m. on Thursday due to an aircraft accident, the Virgin Islands Port Authority (VIPA) has announced. A privately owned airplane destined for St. Croix skidded off the airport's taxiway into a grassy area adjacent to runway 1028 while taxiing for departure, the VI Consortium says. The incident was apparently caused by mechanical failure. The plane's pilot was uninjured and there were no passengers on board at the time of the incident. The 6-seat Pepper Aztec model aircraft with a tail number N269KW is a twin-piston plane registered to Executive Air Shares LLC. VIPA said the incident occurred at approximately 2:30 a.m. And finally, out of the British Virgin Islands. Residents in the Seacoast Bay and West End could receive a more reliable water supply by the end of 2019. BVInews.com says Director of the Water and Sewerage Department, Pearline Scatliff-Leonard, stated last month that this is possible because the hurricane-damaged water plant based at West End is finally being rebuilt. Notably, for years, the Seacoast Bay community and wider 3rd District have only been supplied with piped water for a limited number of hours each day. Some sections of the 1st District have also been experiencing water shortages, particularly after the 2017 hurricanes' impact on the territory's water network. That's it for Original Stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. The United States has issued satellite images and cited intelligence to back its allegation Iran was behind attacks on major Saudi oil facilities. Iran denies involvement in Saturday's air attacks, which were claimed by Iran-aligned Houthi rebels in Yemen. But unnamed U.S. officials speaking to U.S. and international media said the direction and extent of the attacks caused doubt on Houthi involvement. The incident has cut global oil supplies by 5% and prices have soared. The BBC's diplomatic correspondent Jonathan Marcus says there is disagreement on whether the attack was carried out by rebels in Yemen.
Houthis say it was them. The Americans say no, it wasn't, it was the Iranians. The Iranians says absolutely not, it wasn't them. Now, the Americans are claiming that they have evidence. They're saying in a whole range of unattributed statements that they can rule out the fact that the attack emanated from the Houthis. They say it came from an entirely different direction. Until we get some intelligence that can be verified in some way, we're still very much in the dark, but undoubtedly tensions rising considerably.
Taiwan has cut official ties with the Solomon Islands after the Pacific nation decided to switch diplomatic recognition to China. Beijing believes Taiwan is part of China and should unite within mainland. The BBC's Cindy Su reports from Taipei.
Taiwan's foreign minister issued an angry statement condemning the Solomon Islands' decision to end 36 years of diplomatic ties with Taipei. It accused Beijing of practicing dollar diplomacy, making false promises of large amounts of foreign assistance to buy off the Solomon Islands politicians, and trying to influence public opinion ahead of Taiwan's presidential race in January. Taiwan is now down to 16 diplomatic allies. It has lost 5 under President Tsai Ing-wen. Her critics have blamed her for causing unnecessary tensions with Beijing.
U.S. President Donald Trump has angrily defended Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who is facing fresh allegations of sexual misconduct. A former university classmate of Justice Kavanaugh has said he exposed himself at a student party and engaged in other inappropriate behavior there. Mr. Trump condemned the media and opposition Democrats. He suggested Justice Kavanaugh should sue for libel or that the U.S. Justice Department should rescue him. Justice Kavanaugh denied sexual misconduct accusations that were made against him by 2 women during his confirmation to the Supreme Court a year ago. Christine Blasey Ford testified before Congress that he had sexually assaulted her in the 1980s, while Deborah Ramirez told the New York Magazine that he had waved his penis in front of her face at a 1980s dormitory party. They were made by Mark Steele, who was at Yale University with Justice Kavanaugh and now runs a nonprofit organization in Washington, D.C. Democrats have called for the judge to be investigated. And finally, almost 50,000 General Motors workers have been called out on strike after America's biggest car maker failed to reach a pay and conditions deal with the United Auto Workers Union, UAW. We do not take this lightly. This is our last resort, UAW Vice President Terry Dittles told reporters in Detroit. The sides had set a Saturday night deadline to reach agreement. The strike is the first major stoppage at GM since 2007. In that strike, a 2-day stoppage cost $300 million. The union's previous 4-year contract with GM expired this weekend, and the 2 sides had been holding negotiations on wide-ranging issues, including wages, healthcare, profit sharing, and job security. Also, the union has been fighting to stop GM from closing car assembly plants in Ohio and Michigan, which the company has said are necessary responses to changes in the market. Earlier on Sunday, 850 maintenance workers at 5 GM facilities walked off the job on strike. That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Get the hottest summer deal on your vehicle from TDC Automotive and pay no deposit. Finance your vehicle at the lowest interest rate ever with TDC Financial Services for as low as $775 per month. We're giving you 1 year free insurance with TDC Insurance Company on selected models. Free insurance? Now that's hot! Save even more with free servicing for up to 1 year. Free licensing, registration, accessories, and tinting. Save thousands and get lit with the hottest summer deal from TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. Basketball. Six-time NBA champion and Hornets Sports and Entertainment chairman Michael Jordan plans to bring on a pair of majority of major investors. NBA.com says Michael Jordan, who gradually assumed the near total control of Hornets Sports and Entertainment since purchasing the team in 2010, will be adding a pair of partners in the near future. The team announced Saturday evening that Gabe Plotkin, founder and chief investment officer, Melvin Capital, and Daniel Sondheim, founder and chief investment officer of D1 Capital, will join HSE in a transaction subject to NBA approval. The organization oversees the Charlotte Hornets as well as the Spectrum Center. The news indicates a substantial investment in the franchise, though by all accounts, Jordan intends to retain control of the team. In CPL cricket. As the Caribbean Premier League CPL continues, the Trinbago Knight Riders TKR beat the Jamaica Tallowers on Friday, September 13th. Scores were Trinbago Knight Riders 267 for 2, Jamaica Tallowers 226 for 5. Knight Riders won by 41 runs. And more CPL cricket. In a match which featured the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots and Guyana Amazon Warriors on Saturday, September 14th, at Warner Park in St. Kitts, the Warriors beat the Patriots with 25 balls remaining. Scores were as follows: St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots 121, Guyana Amazon Warriors 122 for 3. Still in CPL cricket. The Jamaica Tallowers beat the Barbados Tridents on Sunday, September 15th. Scores were Barbados Tridents 140 for 9, Jamaica Tallowers 145 for 6. Tallowers won by 4 wickets. Still in CPL cricket. The St. Kitts Nevis Patriots beat the St. Lucia Zouks by 6 wickets at Warner Park, St. Kitts on Sunday. Scores: Patriots 143 for 4, Zouks 138 for 9. On Tuesday, 19th September, St. Kitts Nevis Patriots will take on Trinbago Knight Riders at Warner Park. And finally, in cricket, England ended their memorable summer by earning a 2-all draw in the Ashes with a 135-run defeat of Australia in the 5th Test. England set Australia 399 to win and bowl them out for 263 to square the contest with their oldest enemies in a year when they lifted the World Cup for the first time. Scores were England 294 and 329, Denley 94, Stokes 67, Leon 4 for 69, Australia 225 and 263, Wade 117, Leach 4 for 49, Broad 4 for 62. England won by 135 runs. Series drawn at 2-all. And that's it for sports. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back. Another local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. The weather tonight will be partly cloudy and hazy with a 20% or slight chance of a brief shower. Winds are east to southeast at 12 to 18 knots, gusting higher over open waters. Seas are 1.5 to 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet. Small craft operators should exercise caution, mainly in waters east of the islands. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:59 a.m. And that's a wrap up the major news package for today, Monday, 16th September 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, General Manager of VON Radio named among 12 nationals of St. Kitts Nevis presented with the Medal of Honor. And landslide occurs in Lodge, St. Kitts, no casualties recorded. Regionally, Guyana coalition given assurances regarding fresh elections. Internationally, Saudi oil attacks. U.S. says intelligence shows Iran involved. And in sports, Michael Jordan sells minority stake in Hornets Sports and Entertainment. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashan Tyson, wishing you a pleasant evening.